What is your fetish and what went wrong when you tried it? Everyone's got an embarrassing intimacy act story for me. It happened in 1998, my senior year of college. It was 2 a.m., and my girlfriend was over, even though she wasn't supposed to be in my room after 11 p.m. She and I were getting into some pretty kinky stuff, basically. She wanted me to tie her up right on her, and basically just treat her like an intimacy slave that pissed me off. She wanted me to constantly threaten her during this role-playing session, too. She really got off on this type of stuff. So I move some ceiling tiles and tie her hands above her head using the girders. Her butt is about a foot off the bed, and she's got her arms straight up in the air. I put a gag in her mouth, and then wrote dead beach on her chest and beach on her back with green permanent marker. I tied up her huge breasts and put clothespins on her nipples. I stick a vibrating egg in her and set it on a very slow pulse. Then I put a gag on her and tell her to wait till I get back. I went to the basement to get ice because she wanted a cube shoved up her butt. Halfway back, the fire alarm goes off. I run back to my room, and the Raw is about to unlock my door to do a bed check. I tell the Raw that I'm already out, but I forgot to grab something. He tells me I can't go back into my room because of the fire alarm. Now we all know there's no fire, it's just some drunkard who pulled the alarm. So I go outside while my girlfriend is tied up in my room with a vibrating egg in her snatch. We're all waiting outside for about 15 minutes. Even though we're usually back inside within 5 minutes, then the fire department shows up. Apparently it wasn't some drunk who pulled the fire alarm. It was some drunk who set the bathroom garbage can on fire on the 4th floor. I grab the hall coordinator and tell her that my girlfriend is still inside. She asks why I didn't say anything. Well, because we've had 500 fire alarms in Nanov, then we're ever real. Additionally, I said my girlfriend didn't get out because she was asleep and sleeps with earplugs because the slightest noises wake her up. I was hoping I'd be able to go get her alone. Yeah, that didn't happen. The hall coordinator, a security guard, 2 firemen, and one of the Raws escort me to my room. The hall coordinator puts her key in, and I say, all these people might freak her out. I'll go get her. The fireman says, we don't have time for this. Get her out now. He grabs the knob and flings the door open. This is a sight I will never forget. I doubt anyone else will, either. Everyone looks in and is just shocked. There hanging from the girders is my buck-naked girlfriend with tears running down her face. She's squirming as hard as she can and she's screaming. Her muffled yells through the gag. Her tits are tied up and they've turned purple. I try to run in, but one fireman tackles me. He and the security guard then throw handcuffs on me. The other fireman goes in and pulls off the gag. My girlfriend screams, get this thing out of me. The hall coordinator is asking what the fuck she's talking about. I'm screaming, pull the little cord. The hall coordinator can't find any cord, because with all the squirming, my girlfriend had sucked it up into her instead of cutting her down. They're trying to figure out how to fish out this toy. It was probably like 5 seconds, but it felt like an hour. So now I'm screaming, cut her down, the fireman cuts her down, and my girlfriend jams her fingers up herself and produces a small egg. They quickly untie her and pull off the clothespins as the nylon ropes and clothespins come off. My girlfriend lets out a scream as the blood rushes back in and back out by this point. 2 cops have joined us. A paramedic has joined us, and 4 more firemen are there with only 1 or 2 exceptions. Everyone looks like they just saw a train wreck with tits while they're dragging me away in handcuffs. My girlfriend is screaming, no, it's not his fault, I'm not fighting, but she's wrestling the paramedic and the firemen who are helping her down the hall. We get to the front doors and people are starting to return to their rooms. Many are just stopping and watching us. Finally, my girlfriend screams, it was just kinky intimacy. I wanted it. I swear I told him to call me a beach. Well, this was a showstopper, everyone, and I mean everyone goes dead silent. Then a second later, there's an eruption of laughter. They dragged me and my girlfriend into the hall coordinator's apartment. Now it's just me, my girlfriend, the hall coordinator, the Raw 2 cops, and the security guard. 1 cop and the security guard take me into the bedroom and ask me all sorts of questions. The one that stood out in my mind was, what the hell were you planning? Considering you wrote dead beach on her chest while grilling me in the bedroom. They were asking her questions in the living room. This is quite possibly one of the most humbling experiences of my life, having to describe in detail perverse things I was doing to her, and why after about an hour they let us go and realized it was just some very kinky intimacy. The next day I gotten written up for violating intervisitation, opposite gender, in your room, after hours alcohol possession, failure to clear a room during an emergency, and disrespect towards a fellow student. My girlfriend didn't get written up for anything, but she got warnings for everything except disrespect. I felt horrible about this, but now that we're not together, I think it's hilarious. I only wish it could have been caught on tape. Surprisingly, this incident didn't deter her from further acts of perversion, bondage, and humiliation.